And one.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode number 281, and it's a Thursday, and we're going to be talking about business principles and success principles as they relate to business and entrepreneurship. And I'm in Studio 11 right here in Hastings, Minnesota. My good friend Matt's in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we're going to be talking about one of our passions, which is entrepreneurship and business. It's good to see you this morning, my friend, and we've got a great show lined up this morning.
Awesome. I'm excited about it. This is one of our favorite shows. We love to talk business. You and I talk business every day. We love to brainstorm. We love to analyze. We love to give some good practical, coaching nuggets. And in fact, I already see right now Lance has asked a very good question. And, and that's one of the things we do on Fuel for Success is it's a live talk show where we just talk, we give our opinion, and we answer questions for when people, want to ask questions about business, success, family, relationships, health, you name it, money.
Exactly.
So we're excited about it.
Hey, exactly. And we're going to go to Lance's question right away. And like you said, one of the benefits of this live show is we give priority to our live audience. So if you got a question burning, and we don't know everything, but we know some things. And so jump on, ask a question. Lance has asked a question this morning about the annual review. And he says employees dread them. Employers don't seem to like to do them either. Is there a better way than the annual review? Matt, your thoughts on this?
Well, I got two schools of thought. Number one, if a leader does its job, then the annual review shouldn't be something that people dread, because most people don't get enough feedback as it is in employee, manager / leadership relationships, right? Or interaction. So to me, there's a lot of lack of real feedback, communication, praise, true praise. People need that. I mean, if you're building a team and you're in business, your people, you need to be their biggest fans. You need to be their biggest thing. Like, the people that you lead need to know that you believe in them. So the fact that people dread the annual review lets me know that the real flaw is within the CEO or the leader or the manager. That's a whole new school of thought. Flip it over a little bit. I believe that this is the nature of human beings. We don't like evaluation. We don't like truth talks. We don't like to hear about our flaws or I did annual reviews when with my employees. But it wasn't an annual review. I did reviews all the time. I really did. We had such regular communication that there almost wasn't a need for an annual review. And the annual review was more like, okay, as a team, let's look at the three questions. What are my three big questions? What do we need to keep doing? What do we need to stop doing? And what do we need to start doing? And together we did that. So it wasn't like I'm bringing them in for an hour-long pick them apart. We did it together. And it made it more like annual review-y, But I think they're healthy. I think that every relationship, business, your health, your finances, I think analyzing and reviewing is healthy and good. I just think there's a way to go about doing it, Mike. And like I said, people really did it the right way as a lifestyle. I'm really big into lifestyle. I'm really big into habits. I'm really big into process. To me, there's almost no need for a quote unquote annual review the traditional way. There's my thought. You got a different take on it, Mr. Hopkins?
Not necessarily different. I've got some different sort of analogies, I guess. I think the annual review process started probably, if you go back 30 years ago and especially in corporate America and probably Canada as well, Lance, shortly post-war American boom, economy. And, when like my dad, who would work for the same company for 50 years, okay, and he would stay in that job for decades at a time. And the annual review made sense because it was like, we would evaluate, and everything moved at a much slower pace. In today's economy, in today's business world, most businesses don't work that way. I mean, today, if you work for the same company for 5 years, right, that's really long-term employment to a lot of industries today. So it's a lot different dynamic. In addition to that, the manufacturing world itself, as well as like software and technology development, has moved to a sort of a continuous integration, continuous improvement sort of a methodology. And I think that those same sort of principles can easily be applied to the employee review process. And so, yes, there is most annual reviews. I mean, when an employee thinks about it, it's like, okay, this is when I find out if I get a raise and how much, right? And that's sort of that, I don't know, like a union sort of mindset. Like, it's been another year. I've got another year of experience, and so I'm entitled to a raise or whatever. And there's that expectation. I think a lot of those things sort of are dated and need to go away, anyways. Those mindsets. So to my way of thinking, it's a much better to do like a continuous review process through and find metrics that you can measure, so that in today's technology world, why don't you have a dashboard that shows an employee what their performance is like? That's really the way that it needs to work.
Absolutely. But Mike, and you're right, and we don't have time on this show, but maybe next week I want to revisit the idea of building winning teams. I'm very team-oriented, and I'm very big into motivation, but motivation the right way. Most managers have no clue on how to motivate their employees. I mean, no clue. It's just, if you want to succeed, welcome. It's easy. I mean, the opportunity to succeed in life because of the amount of average, to me, is just, I don't want to say simple, because, success is a grind. It is tough, but man, it's really easy.
Hey, that's great. I love that.
Anyways.
We'll definitely jump into that. I love the idea of building teams. I've read a lot on building successful teams, and that's a great topic we'll jump into next week. I do have a couple of questions that have come in. Let me jump to those quick. And they're related topics. Of course, anybody that's watching live, go ahead and ask a question.
Feel free. Please.
Thank you, Matt. You're so gracious today.
I got a funny real quick. I was speaking in a district at a youth camp, and the youth president was such a gracious guy, but he was a little overly gracious. But he sticks out in my mind. Anytime I would be like, hey, I'm just going to go back to the room. No joke. He would go, please. Or I'd be like, hey, I'm just going to step. I'd be in the restaurant. No joke. I'd be like, hey, I'm going to step into the restroom real quick, wash my hands or whatever. He'd be like, please. Like, he would mean it. And me and the other day speaker, like, to this day, whenever I see him, it was Tim Gaddy, so I just saw him at Because of the Times this year. Like, first thing we saw each other, we're like, please. It's just so funny. But he was like, please feel free to ask questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. As entrepreneurs, and, I think we can speak to this. What do you feel like the most important trait that a successful entrepreneur must possess? If you had to, nail it down to one, what would you say?
One trait.
One.
Give me one trait. It would be this. You ready?
It's tough.
Enthusiasm, by far, is the most important trait of anybody that wants to be successful. I literally have watched in my own life enthusiasm take me to the top. Enthusiasm caused massive success. I've also watched a lack of enthusiasm bring it down. I've seen it in sports. I've seen it in sales. I've seen it among entrepreneurs. I've seen it in relationships. Mike, enthusiasm / passion, they're twins, right? I mean, they're so intertwined. But if you're going to be a successful businessman, if you're going to be successful in anything in life, you need a burning fire. I mean, a burning fire. You need enthusiasm. If you're going to sell, you need to have enthusiasm. See, Mike, the reason why Well, anyways, I know that was a question. I don't know if we have more questions. If we do, let's bring it in, my friend. Or if you have questions, because I could go on a tangent on this, my friend.
Dial it back for just a second. And you mentioned that you've had situations where...
Are you trying to kill my enthusiasm? Are you right here on our show trying to totally destroy my fire and enthusiasm, telling me to tone it down? I can't believe it. I can't believe I live to see this day. That my own business partner wants to put the fire out when most people need fire. And here you are. Anyways, go ahead. What's the question, Mike?
I don't remember. No, so
go ahead.
You said there were times in your past where enthusiasm had brought you to success. Can you share a quick story of how maybe a situation where enthusiasm?
Easy. Easy. I could tell you 10 stories where enthusiasm brought me to the top in business. It brought me, the mayor of all of St. Petersburg wouldn't even give me an appointment, right? I tried to meet with him when I was a pastor many years ago, my friends. I wanted to meet the mayor. I wanted to meet every person, the chief of police. I want to shake their hand, sit down and connect with them. I literally went daily and I would go meet business owners specifically. I would give them leadership books. Mike, I was on fire for enthusiasm. And I went from not even being able to get an appointment with the mayor to him bringing me in to speak to his staff. He would meet with 50 pastors a month. He would do a pastor's breakfast with all the pastors. Well, 50 would show up. And I was the youngest. Nobody knew who I was, and the guy that was leading this thing, it was called Somebody Cares Tampa Bay, and the leader of it, he wanted to, the mayor had said, you should have Matt Maddox come tell a story because we'd given away 1,000 turkeys. Mike, the ability to give away 1,000 turkeys happened for one reason, because I was over the top enthusiastic about it. Mike, I went to a church of 100 that had no money, and I stood on the pulpit and said, we're giving away 1,000 turkeys this Thanksgiving. People thought I was crazy. They thought I was out of my mind, but it happened. We gave away 1,000 turkeys actually 2 years in a row. 1,000 turkeys. Do you know what it's like? Go ahead.
Just because it happened doesn't mean you weren't crazy.
Exactly. Good point. I was definitely crazy.
That's a great question. That's a great example of enthusiasm and the power of it. Hey, quick follow-up from Lance, and he asked this. He said, can you, and this was where I was going to go next anyways.
What if I wasn't done with my story? Anyways, go ahead, Mike.
I thought you were.
Mike and I
I'm sorry.
Okay, follow-up question from Lance. Lance said, can you fake it?
Can you fake it? Can you manufacture enthusiasm? Or are you just born with it? Can you fake it until you make it? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm shaking my head. Yes, my phone's ringing off the hook. I got it wired in to ring through my Mac. And my bad, guys. Lance, listen, Mike, we're a little over time, but we don't care at this point. We're enthusiastic about being over time. But listen, fake it is not a word I like to use on anything. They say fake it till you make it. I know what you mean by the question. I would use the word act as if. I believe in the power of acting. I do believe that you can act more enthusiastic even when you don't feel more enthusiastic. And so I don't believe someone is born with enthusiasm because it's not an outgoing situation. It's really not. It's a passion situation. Yeah, there's people that are naturally more subdued in their personalities, but it doesn't mean they can't be enthusiastic. It doesn't, think about it. I know nerds that are enthusiastic. I know geeks. I know people that are enthusiastic about building apps. They're on fire for it. Their blood is boiling with enthusiasm to do what they do. So if you don't have enthusiasm, I'll get you ready for this. My son went through a slump in baseball. Okay, true story. He had dropped down to number 8 in the batting order, which is for him, his standards are never go below batting 3 because usually the top 3 to 5 hitters are the best, And he had dropped down to number 8. He was struggling in the field. And finally one day, I baptized him with, I took him, my friend, to the to the pool of just, motivation. I sat him down. I said, Caleb, you know what your problem is? I was like, you know why you are slumping in baseball? I said, have you heard of Eeyore? I was like, you're acting like Eeyore on the field. I was like, you don't dive for balls. Even your whole body language when you walk to the plate, you don't smile at the umpire. You're not loose. You're not fired up. I was like, you have no enthusiasm. I said, and I taught him the principle of act as if. I said, I want you to act enthusiastic. You got to get back to loving this game. I want you dirty, sweating, loving it, laughing, having fun. Mike, in just a month, maybe a month, he went from this little slump. He was slumping because his personality and his energy was slumping. So now it affected his performance. This happens in sales. It happens in business. It happens in relationships. And I said, if you'll act more enthusiastic, that enthusiasm, Mike, I'm telling you, he's our leadoff hitter now. His hitting is probably better than it's ever been. He's a different kid, and it was a lifelong lesson for him. Just the power of enthusiasm. Same thing in sales, Mike. I mean, if you make calls and you're like, okay, let me just try to call this client. No, you gotta can't wait to call this person and change their life. Can't wait to talk to them. Can't wait to do this. You know what I mean? Even like road trips. Refuse to dread it. You're like, let's go. Come on, let's roll. Let's get this thing going. Problem is, Mike, we're too dull about stuff. We've lost. See, I'm enthusiastic, okay? I'm enthusiastic by nature. I lost an edge of my enthusiasm over the last. I've had an enthusiasm epiphany, wake up call. It happened to me yesterday. I mean, I'm always the guy that walks in. You've seen it, Mike. Starbucks. Hey, what's going on? If I see people, I'm upbeat. If I answer the phone, usually I'm like, hey, even like on my videos. Well, the problem with enthusiastic people is we annoy the absolute craziness out of people because most people can't handle enthusiasm. Most people are average and dull and complacent, and it rubs people the wrong way. See, enthusiasm will push people away from you. But I told somebody yesterday, I said, for every person that you annoy with enthusiasm, you'll attract 20 that'll love the living heck out of you because people love a person that has good energy, enthusiasm. And Mike, enthusiasm is contagious. Enthusiasm sells. True. Enthusiasm moves. Enthusiasm moves the world, man. And the reason why is, people try to fit us into their tone it down, man, chill, and these average-minded people start saying that, and we do tone it down. You can't tone it down, my friends. You've got to crank it up. Because for every person that you annoy, you're going to attract many more into your company and your business. If you own a business, you need to set that thing on fire. If you pastor a church, man, you need to set that thing on fire. Mike, maybe, I'll tell you what's probably killed some of my enthusiasm through the years is traveling to all these churches that are just like morgues. Maybe it's rubbed off on me. I don't know. But anyways, whoa. Our 11-minute show is now at 18 minutes, so I guess we'll end it at 20 minutes, 22, 21?
20 is good. 20 is good.
Talk to me, Mike. Talk to me, man. Do you have a question? Do you have an analogy? Do you have a feedback? Do you have something?
Hey, you know what? You're absolutely right about enthusiasm, and I agree 100%. I love the story about Caleb, and it really illustrates the power of what enthusiasm can do. And it's almost like, we could break down why it does it, but it just changes the way that you look at everything. And just a small little perspective and change in the way that you look at things can affect your actions. And it's all about actions at the end of the day. What you do is what leads to results. What you don't do leads to lack of results. And so your enthusiasm, your mindset about the tasks in front of you, and the way that you approach them, it affects the way that you act. And the way that you act at the end of the day is what determines your success. So great
And
stuff.
now, what were you going to say?
I was looking back. There was
Question.
a comment that I wanted to pull up here.
While you're looking it up, let me segue. Let me say here that, friends, do me a favor. Don't let the wet blanket, don't be a wet blanket. Don't be a downer. Don't be a dud. Be a stud, baby. Don't be a cynical, critical, negative, pouting, blah, low energy. Don't be don't get yourself back on fire. I mean, get back to enjoying life. Get back to enjoying what you do. Love your job. Love it. Find things you love about it. Smile about it. Love working. Love selling. Love serving. Love customer service. Love the bad. Love, you know what? Love the bad. Love the problems. We have we're like, oh my God, if it's gonna rain, we have so much negative energy, like, oh well, if it's gonna, like someone yesterday, I had to go in the bank, and my banker, I was like, how are you? And she's like, well, I'm doing okay considering I was late for work today, and it's just, I know how it goes. It's a domino effect. It's probably gonna, and I'm like, whoa, what? Are you kidding me? You live in America. I mean, you're alive. You're at work now. Okay, you're a little late. Get over it. It happens. Don't assume the rest of your day now. But see, that's how people are, Mike. They're so like, I mean, I love it. You watch when they announce a plane delay. You watch it, bro. I'm gonna video it next time. I wish they'd give me a heads up. Cause it's like the amount of like, are you kidding me? The amount of like growls and sighs, and I'm like, stop sighing. Stop sighing. Alright, ready for this? I'm going to leave you with this. Stop sighing all the time. Stop. Stop sighing with your kids. Stop sighing with your husband. You know what I mean by sigh? All these people like, traffic jam, sigh. Your kids spill milk, you like flip out. So, clean it up. Get over it. Don't be all like, always so uptight. Get enthusiastic about our homes, Mike, our families, our businesses, our kids, our employees. Don't walk into your sales team and scare them. Don't motivate through fear. Motivate through passion. Let them know, hey, I believe in you. We got this. We're going to do this. We're going to try to make 100 sales this week. Let's make 200. We can do this. You guys can blow it up. Be that kind of person, okay?
Good. Awesome stuff today, my friend. Great show, and I like what Mary says. It's funny. So when people say I'm doing okay under the circumstances, she says, what are you doing under there? It's a great quote.
That's good, Mary. I like that. I might start using. Yeah, I'm okay under the circumstances. I've got problems, but I'm not worried about my problems. I'm really not. I'm excited about the fact it's sunny today. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm going after my passion. I'm living my passion. Mike, in business and entrepreneurship, we get in the grind and we forget the fact that, hey, it's stressful, it's a grind, there's so many details, but pinch me, like, I'm doing this. I'm here. I'm at the party. I'm at the show, baby. In other words, yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it's long hours, but isn't this what we signed up for? Is not this what we signed up for? I mean, why are you whining about stuff that you signed up for?
Right.
We love you.
God bless America.
We, my friends, will return on Tuesday, and we are grateful that you watched our show. Mike, can you just tap it off, close it out, give a little goodbye?
I will give a goodbye. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there this Sunday. If you forgot that Sunday is Mother's Day, this is your reminder, and you're welcome. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Enthusiastic about Mother's Day? Are you kidding? Don't be like, gotta go get my mom a card. No! Drive and get the card with enthusiasm. Get the flowers with enthusiasm. Love Mother's Day, my friends.
If you're going to do it, do a good job.
Yeah, if you're going to do it right. If you're going to do it all the way. All right, anyways, we love you, Mike, and I believe in you. We care. And I want to tell you with enthusiasm, if you're not in My Health 90, you, my friend, you are missing out seriously on straight up the most supportive, encouraging, just unbelievable community of support, coaching. You're missing it. You're missing it. And all you got to do is go to myhealth90.com. Yeah, don't buy our Starbucks card, Lance. But I love Lance. Lance is awesome. Love you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, or Tuesday, actually. Mike, you enjoy your weekend, my friend.
You too. Have fun.